we've talked a lot about big money in sports with Penn State and their scandal. Well, now David Goodfriend has a daily rant on how money and influence is creating yet another injustice in the sports world. David.
Thanks, Dylan. We Americans love sports, but we pay for that love affair through government subsidies that would make most Wall Street bankers blush. Take stadiums, for example. Billions of your taxpayer dollars gone into building stadiums for professional sports teams. Tax breaks, professional sports leagues enjoy non-profit tax status. Legal breaks, professional sports leagues have their very own antitrust exemption written into federal law, and the list goes on. So with all these government benefits showered on professional sports leagues, you might think that the average American sports fan would get a lot in return, right? Wrong. In what has to be the most obnoxious pump fake to the fan, sports leagues actually prevent fans from having access to the games that all of us help to finance. They're called sports blackouts, and they work like this. If a stadium has not sold out a couple days before the game, then the league can tell local broadcasters not to air the game. The problem is ticket prices have been going way up. The average NFL ticket is now $77. Economic times are tough. People can't afford those ticket prices. So in cities particularly hard hit by the recession, like Cincinnati, Tampa, or Jacksonville, the number of blacked out NFL games has skyrocketed. Last season, 26 NFL games were blacked out, and 22 games a year before, way above the national average. So, if you're unemployed in Cincinnati and can't afford a ticket to the game, you go home to watch it on TV, only to find out that the game has been blacked out. You help pay for the stadium, but you can't watch the game. It's beyond unfair. Now, all that is bad enough, but it gets worse. In the 1970s, the sports leagues and broadcasters lobbied the FCC to establish the sports blackout rule. The rule says that if a league orders a broadcast blackout, sports fans can't get that game any other way, like, say, through cable or satellite. So, in other words, the federal government makes sure that when a sports league orders a blackout, the fan has absolutely positively no way to get that game. Talk about corporate welfare run amok. Well, some friends of mine and I have decided to do something about it. A couple years ago, we started a nonprofit advocacy group called sportsfans.org to give fans a voice in public policy impacting sports. This week, we and 4 other public interest groups filed a petition at the FCC to end the sports blackout rule. We think that the federal government should not be propping up an anti-consumer practice, such as sports blackouts. If anything, it should be trying to end the practice. If leagues want to sell out games, they can lower ticket prices, just like airlines do to make sure that planes fly full. If you'd like to learn more, go to www.sportsfans.org. Join us. After all, as long as Dylan Ratigan and others are trying to give people a stronger voice in their government, we might as well start with the one thing Americans love most: sports.
Isn't it interesting, though, that in sports, whether it's the relationship with the NCAA and the college athletics business, or everything you just described about the acceptance of these blackouts, that sports that we really hold on a pedestal of competition and fairness and equal opportunity and may the best man or woman win, are the ones that we indulge the most in game rigging to preserve and perpetuate their businesses?
It is subsidization, pure and simple. It's government handouts for sports leagues instead of asking, what do fans want? What do consumers want? Sound familiar? It sounds a lot like banks to me.
It does indeed. If you were to look, well, we don't have enough time for it. I agree with you. I agree with you. That's all I have to say about that. But I don't agree with Green, but we're going to talk about Green Bay in a bit. That'll do it for us today. I am Dylan Ratigan.